In this video, we're going to talk about how you can hit your driver a lot longer, a lot straighter, have more fun, and shoot lower scores. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you here. We're again in my training center just outside of Chicago, and we're going to be talking about hitting the driver here. This is easily one of the most common questions I get, or the most asked for things that people send me, or when they come in here asking me, how do I hit my driver better? And so we want to talk a little bit about that and some of the things I see, along with some of the misconceptions I think that are out there about the club. And so we just want to talk about that. Before we get into it, again, if you've enjoyed our tips, we have more tips coming up. Make sure you subscribe down below. We're going to be doing some on-course stuff and talking about playing holes, things like that. So just make sure you subscribe, click post notifications, turn those on, and that way you'll not miss any of those videos that are coming up. So we're going to start talking again about the driver here. And so one of the things about the driver, it used to be a club that was kind of my enemy growing up for a long time, and it actually has become one of my friends. It's one of my favorite clubs in the bag because of the time I spent with one of my mentors. I got to spend 3 years working with Mike Malaska and being around him and talking the golf swing with him. And what he always talked about, it just made so much sense to me, because he would talk about, all right, this is the part of the golf club that needs to go. All right, this is the part that needs to move. So if we're trying to make so much effort to get the golf club to go fast, why is there so much effort in here and no talk about getting the golf club out here to move? And I just always thought that was interesting. I've always paid attention to that. I hear a lot of people talk about what the body's going to do, but what are the pieces that are going to make this actually just translate out to the golf club? And I think that's where I see a lot of people that come in to see me, especially when they're working on their driver. They think, okay, I'm just going to do these things and all of a sudden it's magically going to work. And that's not what happens. So what do I see? I see a couple of things, that are very popular. One I see is, this one's very popular right now, is, we want to get the golf club to shallow, and so we're going to pivot. Okay, and that's all well and good. You can see, I see a lot of people that do that. But the problem is, when we start to pivot our body, the golf club also has to pivot. This golf club, when we pivot our body without doing anything else, really gets laid off, and it gets into a position where we've really got to do something to start squaring the golf club up. I see a lot of these things really start to cause some issues. I have people that have a lot of issues with wrists, because they're trying to really arch the wrists coming through. That's one way they could close the face. But then all of a sudden their wrists are starting to feel like they hurt. They're trying to quiet their arms down. All of a sudden their backs and their elbows and their shoulders start to hurt because they're fighting what their body naturally wants to do. What we'd like to see is, as you go from this motion, you're going to notice that my arms start to rotate kind of internally, or we call that pronation, right? They're going to rotate internally towards my body, and that's what creates this shallowing move. But I have to start going back the other way, okay? If I'm going to get this driver to get back to this ball and hit it dead center, which is what it's required to hit it straight, then I have to start getting the driver to go out towards the ball. I don't want to wait till here, and I have to pivot like crazy. I have to arch this wrist to close the face, and then somehow, if you do all that, we have to get the club into the middle of the ball, and I find a lot of people have a hard time doing that. So a lot of toe shots and crazy shots when I see people doing that. So they're losing distance, and they're feeling like all these other parts are moving, when in reality, all I want to be able to do is, from up here, again, when I transition, my arms are going to kind of turn internally here, but then I want to pivot that club out by just getting a feeling that I am just rotating my arms and my forearms over. Now, really, really important thing to add to that, what I see people do is a lot of people will get really tight in doing this. Their arms, they try to keep them locked up. So it's like, all right, straight arms. The problem is, one, those tight muscles aren't going to go very fast. Two, if you try to maneuver just the golf club out to the ball, if I got really tight, my whole body's gonna go. We do not want that to happen. We're just talking about your arms and really your forearms. So your shoulders, rest of your body should feel very loose in doing this. So when we go back, we're going back, we're letting the club, you know, kind of fall a little bit, but then we need to work that club out. And when you get to the other side of the ball, what you'll notice is my arms have a chance to rotate. This arm now can fold up comfortably. All of a sudden, I'm in a nice finished position. I haven't fought it all the way through. I'm balanced, all that good stuff that we see. I can put more speed and effort into the club by just putting more force and going after it. But when I do that, I don't feel any pain, anything like that, because I'm moving how my body's meant to move, which is huge. That's a big part of being able to play golf consistently. If you're doing things that your body doesn't want to do, it's always going to fight you. The other thing is you're going to get hurt, okay? You're going to be able to play golf more and more often, which is what we really want. So if you really want to hit the driver long and straight, you really want to start dialing in how your arms move. And so when we take it back again one more time, is from here, you're going to feel this arm kind of start rotating in a little bit, but right after it, you got to get your arms and your forearms rotating back out so the club can travel back out. That's going to get you lined up right in the middle of the ball and letting you hit the ball with some speed and feel like I can put some distance, have some control, and then the driver becomes one of your favorite clubs in the bag. So go ahead, give this a thought, give it a try it out at home, make some practice swings, give yourself a chance to practice it, and let us know how it goes down in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We also would love to hear any thoughts about your goals for 2019, what you're trying to do with your golf game. We'd love to answer any questions you may have and be able to bring those to you in future videos. So again, everybody, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so below, and we'll see you in the next video.